4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Season 3, Episode 2 of the Rap Game. We got the hit list going on, and we got a special guest. Let's just get it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Good little check.
Mic check, 1, 2.
And this coming different flavors like Pop-Tarts.
Hey.
You can get it if you want it, so don't pop off. I got the flow that everybody
King
wants.
Rosco.
I'm the
Okay, we hear these lyrics.
Hey.
Let me hear this. A little sorry remix, huh?
Okay, this is smooth, all right.
Set your alarm, 'cause it's my time. I do not flex when it comes to my lifestyle. That's why the labels are loving my style.
King Rosco.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. It is the Rap Game. We in here in the building, fully staffed with a guest. So, you know, we extra turned up. If y'all don't know who that was in the background, that is none other than King Rosco, who is one of the contestants on the Rap Game. And he's also with us, and we're going to bring him in just a second. But right now, I'm Lem Gonsalves. I'm excited to be back with my brothers. And you can find me at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Right next to me is my main man, Nino Llanera.
Yo, Lem with the intros all the time. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Nino. You know you can catch me all the time at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Check out my hashtag Nino's POV to keep track with me, yo.
There it is. And of course, Mr. Be Your Own Padre himself.
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy V.
What's going on, guys? I'm glad you guys are back on the panel. You know, y'all back to hold it down. I'm your boy Jimmy V. Twitter, Instagram at Be Your Own Dad. Make sure you check that out.
Word. And of course, the anchor, none other than the man himself, JJ the talented Joshua Johnson.
What's up, everybody? Good to have you guys back. By the way, we missed you last week.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to get into this new episode, so I'm excited about that. I'm Joshua Johnson. Find me on social media at JJ the Talented.
Word.
Yeah.
And as I promised, we do have a guest in the building. You heard him already, and you can hear a lot more of him. We got him via Skype. It's the main man, Mr. King Rosco. What's up, baby?
Hey. Rosco!
The king, sucker!
These intros be killing it, Rosco.
Coming out.
Hey.
I love it. I love it. What's up, man? Where are you calling us from, King Rosco?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, man.
Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta,
It's that
GA.
peach state, man.
There
It's
it
that
is.
peach.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Home team.
So yeah, he part of the home team.
Yeah. Oh, he must be super excited.
Oh,
Super
hey, did you
Bowl,
watch the
man.
game last night?
Yeah, but we stepped. You saw Julio stepped on, you know.
Okay. I gotta tell you though, man, I'm a Patriots fan, so I don't know how this interview's about to go, brother.
Roscoe ain't worried.
He gave you the stank face. Stank face. Well, man, first of all, Roscoe, we're so glad to have you on, man. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into this episode, and we're going to kind of get your opinion on how things went down and get back to you back and forth. So right now, as the episode started, of course, we had the hit list jump off. And so it was the first hit list, and the kids are talking about how it went down. Of course, Tally got first on the hit list.
Yeah.
People had reservations about that, had issues about that. And Tally herself said she feels like, you know, she can't be comfortable because, yeah, she's number one, but we've seen this is the third season in. Just because you're number one, you can be last on the next one.
Right.
We've seen it before.
I think it's wise of her to do that. Also, we got Flage's mom, and she's talking about her dad, and we see a lot of it in this episode. Last episode, I feel like it's going to be a recurring theme throughout the season. My question to you all is, do you think that she's talking too much about that?
Like I spoke about it in the first episode, I think she's putting way too much stress on her own self, trying to fill shoes of her pops. You know, she definitely should take the advice of her mother, of the same as Rick Ross, figure out who she is.
Right.
And then I think once she finds that out, she'll be able to grow from that point there.
No, I definitely agree with you guys too. I feel like she has just so much on her shoulder as far as like she never got to know her dad. You know, her dad didn't make it before she was born.
Yeah.
So the fact. The reason, you know, that she just has that much weight and just wants to basically continue on the legacy might just weigh heavy on her. But best thing to do, is definitely stick to her guns and be true to herself and not make that pressure, you know, not that pressure basically get to her. And I definitely agree with you. I think that she should stick to what her mom and JD has said and really do her. And I think we're going to see more of her as the weeks come as well too.
So we got JD, brings them all in, and says they're gonna, go into the studio. But the issue is he asked any of them if they had a job, and I love Rosco because he's looking like, "What are you talking about?
What, a job?
You know
Like a job? What is that?"
He made a good point though. I don't want a job. I want a career.
He did say that. He
And
did say
that was some 25-year-old talk
That
right
was
there.
old. That was old man stuff, Rosco. When he asked you about the job, what were you thinking at that point?
What I was thinking is, like knowledge I got from older people. Like, you want a job, you want a career, you want to go to school, you want to do what you got to do and make it your lifetime goal.
Right.
And not just have a job, like just a temporary job.
Are you really 12, dog? Because your mind speaks words.
Rosco, I'm telling you, a man beyond his years. How old are you now, Rosco?
Well, I'm 13.
He's 13 now. Oh, he's teenager.
I remember them 13 years, man.
He's teenager now. He's grown man. And speaking of, your job that he gave everybody jobs.
Yeah.
So we saw Nova working at an ice cream parlor, and we saw Rosco actually working at a barber shop.
Yep.
What was that experience like? I mean, obviously editing, happened, and so we don't know how long you were there. How long did you actually work that day at the barber shop?
I worked for about like an hour.
Oh, you can't sure about Okay.
Filming.
Okay. Right.
I'm thinking they had an 8-hour day.
That's
lunch
what it seemed
included.
like.
They were there for the swing shit.
Right.
It was about craft service for like 55 minutes.
Job I worked like. Well, the job I worked for an hour.
Oh, you worked for an hour at the job.
At the job.
At the job site.
Throughout the day, like it was more than that.
Oh, it was more than that.
gotcha.
Okay, gotcha.
After with shooting and everything like that, for sure.
Did they hook you up with a haircut afterwards, man?
Nah, they hooked me up.
Come on, man. I put in the work. I deserve to get paid.
It's all good, man.
That's all
You still look fresh right now. You
Yeah,
good?
absolutely. So we got Tally worked at doggy daycare, and then we get into kind of where the shade starts, right?
Yeah.
And we see it happen not so much with the kids, but we see it with the parents, aka momagers, dadagers, and Platinum J goes in and doesn't think Tally is a real artist, and kind of is hating on that situation. What do you guys think about that, Bruce?
Tally's facing a lot of that this season. I think it started off with episode 1 where people were surprised that she came back. I saw on social media, I don't know if you guys saw it, but a lot of people were saying, hey, we didn't ask for Tally. What is JD doing? Because he's brought her back acting like the fans were requesting her, but no one out here is checking for Tally, which was really weird to see because, as JD said to us here in the studio, that a lot of people were asking for, a lot of people wanted to see Tally back. So now that she's back, you see people in the house now, they're like, wait a minute, you had your chance, you had your shot, you failed, so why are you here?
Right.
The thing is, you know what? If JD, a person like JD who was here when we did the pre-rap game special, has an inkling that you might be something special, you just respect that and you go with it, And if you're a competition in that house, you don't have to worry about it. You kind of just push through, kind of like King Rosco. What your mom did when all the hype was going down and everything was happening. Your mom was like, "You go over there."
So you saw that move, right?
You see that? I wanted to mention that.
Concentrate on you, and I think that was the smartest thing that your mom had done, and that was great because she wants you to concentrate on you and not having to worry about all the other talk that's going on in the house.
Right.
That was a great move, Mom.
Shout out to Mama.
Mama, yeah.
I peeped that though.
I
She's like,
thought
you
the
go
mom
over there.
was like,
You go
all
over
right, I don't want him to get in this, so boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So kind of from the protective mom point.
That's
it
a
was
manager.
great.
That's what they're supposed to do.
But it was
protect
great
their brand.
because King Rosco didn't even need his notepad when he got in the studio.
Killed it.
He just went straight for it. Like,
Were you Rosco, when you got to that point where you guys had to go in, and I know your mom was very adamant about like, nah, you don't need no moat, but you go from the head. Were you nervous at the point, or were you pretty much confident?
I was pretty much confident on going in the studio, knocking it out, and delivering it.
Okay.
Without the book.
Without the book.
and that's a normal thing for you, right? Where you go in the studio, but you got the lyrics down packed already without having a notebook there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Rosco, if you can memorize your lyrics, your grades must be on point
Right.
because I always struggle studying, man. What's your grades like right now?
He got a song called All A's, man. Come on.
Hey.
They good always, like always.
They good. Always.
Memorization is key.
Right. Rosco, I want to go to you for a moment, and this was kind of just talked about a little bit, at the beginning of the first episode. But your father was killed before you were born, and the case actually still remains unsolved where you are in Georgia. And you wrote a song about it. Can you kind of talk to us about like how that came about, your feelings about that whole situation, and what you went through there concerning that?
Well, I was actually in my room one day, and I just started writing. Cause like I was just thinking about it. It was like a week before my dad's birthday, so I was like, well, why not write a song about how I feel about it, express my feelings. So I told my mom to take me to the studio so I could record the song. So I wrote the song and I went to the studio and recorded it, and I put it out on his birthday last year. And then this year I put out the video. So the song is basically like how I feel about the whole situation and how it affected me.
Wow. Now, do you something like that obviously is heavy, and I know that we have Flage, who's on the show, who has a similar situation with her dad passing before she was born. Do you feel that when you write, and even the song that you did, but even going further with some of your other lyrics, some of the songs, does that kind of have influence in that?
Well, can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, I was just asking if, with your situation with your dad, does that have kind of come into some of the other songs that you may write and may do as a lyricist and as a rapper?
Well, some of them do. Like when I'm going deep into my life, but if I'm just writing, like I don't put my dad in there. Like it's just I write. Word.
There it is. As you should.
Rosco, do you feel like we haven't seen? Of course, there's a whole lot of season left. But did the fact that you and Flage have similar situations, did that draw you closer to her in any kind of way? Did you feel like a closer bond to her because you had a similar situation with your fathers?
Definitely, like the connection grew, especially when we had the conversation in the kitchen.
Yeah. Could we see like a collab from that, possibly?
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So never say never.
Right.
Everybody.
Exactly. One of the highlights, of course, of that whole situation where they were all working was we did see Flage working at Wingstop, and of course. I knew that Rick Ross owns a bunch of Wingstops.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was dope that as she's working, he pops in, and then she gets to kind of meet him. Let me get the lemon pepper
last night for Wingstop.
Did you really?
I did.
Man, I'm telling you, there's not one near me, so I always, it's not on the brain. But Wingstop, Wingstop is bomb, and their fries and the little sugar that they put on there with the skin still on them. Yeah. Come on, man!
And you don't have to get good. You can get like whatever seasoning you want on there too. Like the other night, I had lemon pepper seasoning on my fries.
On your fries
instead of the Cajun seasoning.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have lunch yet, so
yeah, neither have I. That's probably why I'm thinking about it. Mouth is watering.
Let's get back on topic.
Right. Postmates. But no, I mean, I think it was dope, and it sounded like they had a great conversation. They talked about worth ethic, which basically was the theme of the challenge when it came to that. And they all got to experience regular work, but then also write those 16 bars about their worth ethic as an artist and as a hip hop, rapper. And so that was dope. And I think it was very poignant too because he said he knew her father. And that was huge.
Right.
That was huge. She was just like, oh my gosh. And I can imagine if, that obviously it's a big part of her life. It's influential in her songs. But, for him to say that, somebody like Rick Ross, I mean, that was amazing. I thought that was dope.
It was dope.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was dope for Jermaine Dupri to actually think about that and actually do
and
it
make
for
that
her.
connection.
That connection to make that happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was nice and genuine.
Like Nino and I were talking while watching the episode, is the fact that Rick Ross was, when he speaks, it's like, you gotta listen. This is a voice. Right?
Godfather.
Like you said, that Godfather voice, right?
Yeah.
So that was a good moment in the episode, I think, where they were talking and they had that little connection because he knew her father and gave her like some knowledge and some wisdom about, it's some encouragement really about how she can, own her own personality, and then she has the potential to really, in 5 years from now, in between then and now,
embody it.
Really embody it and really go for it.
Side note, I was Rick Ross for Halloween like 3 years ago. So if you'd like to check that out, follow me on Instagram at Nino Llanera and look that up.
Hilarious.
Rosco, what are your thoughts on Rick Ross? Are you a fan?
I am a fan of Rick Ross.
Okay, then what's your favorite song, man?
Hey, boss.
I'm a boss.
The boss makes sense. Then.
Of
Okay,
course.
yeah.
Of course, because you know he's a boss.
He's the boss.
He's the king. Actually,
He's the king.
He's the king. Rosco, I want to ask you a question about your past. So obviously, you know, you have this very prominent scar on your head, and obviously that has some meaning. And it actually came about because you had almost died when you were a baby. I don't know how much you remember, obviously, of that, even though it was so long ago. But can you tell us about that? What do you know about that? What did your mom tell you about that whole situation?
Well, I know a lot about it, but it started in Head Start, and it started as a little bump, and then we went to the doctor because it was getting bigger, and the doctor said it was a spider bite, and so we had to get surgery. And then they told me a staph infection, so they did the surgery. And once they did the surgery, I left this mark. Yeah. And they told me to put a patch over it for 24 hours, and it'll be gone. So when my mama took the patch off, this is what it was, and Mom was real mad.
Oh, it was a
but
staph infection.
Yeah.
And being bullied in kindergarten and throughout everything, it just pushed me to go harder, and don't let what people say get to me.
There you go,
That's
man.
right.
Hey, I personally grew up with a stutter, man. So what I do, I turn my negatives into positives. So if you rock that out, bro, everybody's gonna show you love, man.
Absolutely. So as we mentioned before, Jermaine does give them this assignment after they get back from their jobs that they worked for an hour. And basically they have to write the 16 bars about their work ethic. And we see a little coaching going on with Mr. Echo.
Right.
He's coaching Nova a lot. And I mean, I wanted to get your opinion on that. Now, obviously, these are their managers, and Echo is also an artist. So he comes from the artist creed. Obviously, he was the one that was turning up when they was, you know,
in the first episode,
and was right there with them. And we asked, you know, JD about that, and he's like, no, he was on there with this boy. But the whole coaching that he did, and especially going, you know, we'll talk about it in a second, but in the hit list, he had made reference to a lyric that he was kind of saying that he should kind of change up. Yeah. Do you think that Echo was wrong in the coaching that he was doing, or that's what he should be doing as his manager?
No, I don't think he was wrong based off of season 2. If you guys remember Jayla Marie, she had writers all the way back home.
Exactly.
So if that was accepted then, it can only be accepted now.
Well, sure.
I would take it a step further, and I think we've talked about it every season of doing this after show. Take it back to Super Peach in season 1, where it was taboo. Taboo at that point. That she had help writing her lyrics. Then we go to Jayla Marie in season 2, and it's suddenly okay, and now it seems to be okay in season 3 too.
See, I think though with Nova, we can kind of see it. He's a talented dude. All of these kids are talented. I think they can do it all on their own. I think as a manager, you know, his manager just wants to make sure that it's precisely to the point. So that we in this competition, we have to make sure that we win it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of that. But other people work differently as well too. You know what I mean? Some people leave their kids alone to just do their thing, and they're good to go. And they feel like they're confident, and that's all good.
Right.
But some people just like to be a little bit more hands-on with the situation.
Sure.
That's right.
I would say either be hands-on or just leave it for the kids to write.
Sure.
One or the other. Yeah.
I would love to get Roscoe's opinion on getting help with writers. Do you approve on ghost writing? Like, would you ever consider it, or do you rather just sit down and put your own writing, man?
I like writing by myself. I don't believe in ghostwriters, but I don't believe Echo. That's not ghostwriting. I don't think that's ghostwriting. I feel like he's helping his nephew.
Yes.
I mean, that's what he's there for. Like, if you're an artist and you can help better your artist, then that's what you do. So I don't feel like it's ghostwriting.
Yeah. Okay. I think he was just giving his small little opinions here and there to kind of add more shine to what Nova was saying, you know. But nonetheless, like I said, if any of these kids got that little bit of help or whatnot, I wouldn't necessarily consider ghostwriting. I think I would just more like Jayla Marie was. Yeah, this is just more just a little bit help with a little push.
And I mean, when we really break it all the way down, rappers do this all the time. I mean, these are adult established rappers. You see a song, when a song's nominated for a Grammy, it has all the writing on it. It's like several people sometimes, and then because they all contributed, they contributed contribute to the writing. So the fact that I have no problem with what Echo did, I could see how parents could be jealous of that because he got #1 on the hit list, and so obviously as a tune of his help. And so, but like I said, with Jayla Marie having all the writing done, and like I said, that was a great point that you make with Super Peach having writing, and this is something that established artists do. You can't really have any problems with it. I mean, you just can't, because it really, at the end of the day, it comes down to how well can they deliver that song.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of delivery, I want to talk to Rosco. You guys were in the booth. Like I said, you had no notepad because your mom said no, and so you came in there with the memorization skills. Tell us about when you went in there and you kind of had your flow going on. Were you was that the first time you were in a studio like that, or I mean, I know you're a pro, but how was that? Was it intimidating? Tell us.
It was nervous. I was nervous, even though I've been in a lot of studios. I was nervous because I was in I was in so the studio.
Right.
And I had to impress them. So I had to do my best to kill this booth, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like layers to it. It's not just you going into the booth. You going in the booth and Mike Columbo's there, and then JD's staring at you too, and you just gotta go rip it. You know?
And the history of that booth too, in that studio.
It's a lot. It's
a
daunting
lot to deal with.
Oh, it's very. I mean, I think for any artist, especially new up and coming artists, it would be very daunting to go in there and just kill it. And I think the kids did a great job. Rosco did a great job. Rosco, one more question before we let you go. I know that you're having a watch party this Friday. Yeah, can you tell us about that real quick?
I'm having a watch party for season 3, episode 3 at Freddie O's. And it's called Kicks and Both Sides. And make sure you're there. Rockin' with Rosco, you should be there to support me.
Boom.
There you go. I want to know though, how, even though 2 episodes have dropped thus far, man, how has life changed for you?
Followers, exposure.
The social media's popping?
Yeah, I have to keep up. I have to watch what I post.
He's like, I gotta be careful.
How about them DMs, Rosco? How about them DMs? Are they popping?
Yeah, they are.
His mom is right there. It's like, they better not be popping.
You ain't gotta lie.
I gotta shout out one more time, man. Rosco is sitting in front of his own poster, man.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy.
You see the kid in the back.
Look at him. Look back at him. Word, Rosco, before we let you go, let everyone know where they can find you on social media, so all the people that are watching on the live feed know where to find you.
Make sure you follow my Instagram at the King Rosco, THAKINGROSCOE, and all other social medias at I am King Rosco, which is IAMKINGROSCOE. And before I leave, I want to talk about the track I have with Nova.
Oh yeah,
dope.
Add It Up. It's coming out soon, and it's fire.
Okay. Man. What is it called again?
Add It Up.
Add It Up.
And then where can they find it when you drop it?
It will be on iTunes.
Add It Up. We're gonna have to play that. We're gonna have to play that on the next one. You said a couple of days. It's quick. It's
a couple of days.
Okay, boom. So next week we'll be able to have it. Rosco, as a tradition here on our show, we usually let our guests kind of take us out, spitting a few bars. Can you bless us with some bars real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Let's get it, man.
These suckers talking at the side of their neck. All I ask for is respect. Keep playing, I'ma blow up your address. You at the edge of getting knocked off your hinges. I'm a ticking time bomb, and these kids keep on ticking. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when I blow up, I'ma hurt y'all all and them facts. Somebody better tell them all they talking, go get them through. Who like heavy metal, huh? Slick comments, I peep those, I beat those who try to compete with the king flow. You can never, ever step in the ring. You think cause you got a crown, you a king, you don't get exposed, sir. And really, I ain't want to give you no exposure.
Oh, King Rosco. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Spitting in front of his poster. 13 years old, boy. Man. Can't tell him nothing.
No. With the money tie and everything.
I love it. Nah, man, thank you so much, Rosco, for joining us. I appreciate it, man. And we definitely going to be following your transition on the rap game and how everything goes on. And we root for you for the best, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, man. Until next time. Peace out.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
King Rosco.
I forgot to hit him with the trick question if he got that chain. Where that chain at? I know you want it, Rosco.
Oh yeah, where's the chain at, man? Let us
Go ahead,
let us
let
see
us know.
it.
Give us an exclusive.
He's like, Mom, how you turn this off, Mom?
Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera.
Look at Mom. What's up, Mom? What's up, Mom?
All right.
Shout out to
Shout out to Mom for moving Rosco out the way. During that.
Yeah.
What's up, Mom? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you guys for having us.
Absolutely,
Of course.
absolutely. We're gonna have you again for sure. Don't please believe. Please believe. And we're gonna have you as part of the show. Absolutely, absolutely. All right now.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
All right.
From the ATL.
Yeah.
The page.
All right, so let's get into I want to talk more about our boy who went in the booth and smashed it to pieces.
Nova.
Listen, can I borrow
Yo.
somebody's
Oh, wait, who's on
mic
it? Is that the live chat?
Here you
No,
go,
no,
sir.
live chat.
Here you go,
quick.
sir. Here you go.
Pull up the
We
live
got
chat,
some
by the way, if
technical
you can.
difficulties with his mics really quick, but let me say, I said I really love Noah's personality. The first, the pre-show that we had here, and he went in the booth, and JD had to run out. He killed the
He
booth.
did. He really did.
Kill it.
And the thing is, it's not just his cadence, his flow, his lyrics. It's himself. When he acts like himself, he's so marketable. People will love him if he would just pick up a vlog camera too and start doing that. People would definitely subscribe to this cat. I think he's dope. Okay, let me use your mic back again.
No, definitely. Like I was telling you earlier, he's got that it factor. You could definitely see him on. The ladies love him. The kids look up to him. Get him on Disney or whatever. Like you said with the vlog, just go around with a Snapchat camera and people will instantly follow.
This kid. I'm putting money on this kid right here.
I feel like he's
now.
the male equivalent
Wait, are you
of
calling
Mr. Yeah.
I'm putting money on Nova right now.
Oh, okay. Boom. Exclusive.
Nova, you better not. You better do this.
No, I think for me, he's the male equivalent of Miss Mulatto. That's what I feel like, as far as his flow, as far as his whole look, as far as his appeal, and I think they're around the same age, or at least when she was on the rap game. So I really feel, and I feel like he can hold his own. I mean, he was number 2 last week.
Yeah.
Of course, he's number 1. We haven't got to it, but we'll just spoiler alert. He's number 1, and he's obviously setting a precedent for himself. And I think that he's definitely the one to beat, for sure. Definitely the one to beat. And I think, pretty much everybody did good. We do see that Flage had to go back out and come back in, and I really thought that was going to affect her on the hit list. I thought she was going to be number 5.
Same.
I thought she was going to be number 5. She thought the same thing.
Yeah.
It didn't, and I think it was because she was able to overcome the situation. And I looked at Dionata. Dionata was coming for Tally.
I definitely
talk
wanted
about that,
to
man.
get into it. I'm actually looking at the comment section here in the live chat. Anybody, make sure you definitely comment. And one person did say Dee played herself this episode, and I'm gonna agree with that comment based off she said Dee didn't think Tally hasn't gone through any type of struggle. Now ever since Tally stepped into the house, everybody's been hating.
Absolutely.
Social media's been on fire. She's going through the struggle at that point. But she says maybe it's a white thing, maybe she's from Tennessee, I don't know, but it's clear in this episode here, though, work spoke for it, which showed up in the hit list in the end.
Absolutely.
I mean, coming from Dionata's perspective, straight out of Baltimore, probably in her eyes, it does kind of smack of like white privilege, where you get one chance and you get another chance. So I can definitely see her angle on that point. But I think going at her in this episode like she did was probably uncalled for. She didn't have to do all that. If you're really not worried about her, don't even bother with her.
Right.
Why waste your bars on her? You know
Now,
what I mean?
JJ, I'm gonna say I like where she came from as far as the rap culture. That's what hip hop came up on. I'm gonna come at you with the bars, but she just came at the wrong time.
And that's the thing. The challenge was to talk about your worth ethic.
Right.
And she basically, because of how she felt about Tally, which she has every right to feel that way, if the challenge was a diss track, it would have been a different situation.
Exactly.
She would have been on point, but it wasn't. And that's why she ended up not doing well on the hit list. And JD said, yo, what were you talking about? Okay, cool, but you got to follow what I tell you to do.
Gotta follow
you
the
got to follow
assignment.
the challenge.
And the thing is, though, you ran this rap for. I got 2 mics now.
Hey, man,
I got 3 mics. 3 mics. All I need is 3 mics for y'all to hear. But no, so like we were saying, like in this type of situation, when you're given a job, like JD said, and you have to write this thing, you put in this diss lyric, and it comes off to somebody who's listening to the song, have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, right.
And you know what I mean?
JD was lost.
And the thing is too, it's not in a way where you doing a diss track and you slightly say, or you kind of give shade to whoever it might be. You kind of give a hint to who it might be. You had no idea who this was,
right?
So it really wouldn't make sense, but it'll make sense to you. But when somebody hears it, they're like, "What are you googling?" Though
it's so unrelated. It almost seems like she was just reaching. She was doing too much with that. It was a reach.
Granted, I'm pretty. She's a lyricist. She got she has good flow, and it's exciting to watch her do her thing. But she should make sure she's not in her feelings with the situation.
Check it out. So,
learning
as was
experience.
said, JD said when he was here, right? He said if the hit list had to do with bars, Dionata would win every time.
Right.
And I think she has bars. Like, even though she was off, topic, that was killing.
She got bars.
And we recognized that. We have recognized that she.
I was like, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice.
So, and I think what she's going to do is she's going to have to figure out to stay on track, and I think she'll learn going forward that you got to stay on point, and don't let the fact of your feelings about somebody or even maybe your ego get in the way of what you're asked to do.
Absolutely. And even before the studio, we had the scene where she was straight out in front of Tally, was like, your raps are whack,
right?
And that turned into a whole other situation. That even brought an echo, and everybody was fighting.
No need to be petty with a situation. You know what I mean? Like, if you think one thing, you think one thing, but having to say that in front of somebody just right there. I know it's the rap game, and you got to be ready to come with that. But was it necessary? Probably not. You didn't have to deal. You didn't have to deal with that situation.
I'm gonna have to disagree on you on that, because I come from a coming up. If I got something to say, I'm gonna tell you to your face. If I say it behind your back, that's kind of disrespectful.
Right, but was it like a necessary thing to have to do when you're, was it necessary?
It wasn't necessary, but like I said, I just feel like I understand if you come from that rap background, I'm gonna challenge you because I think I'm number one.
Well, that's good. You're always in that. I guess if you say it like that, you're always in that I'm ready to go mentality. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Dionata is not great by all means. She's amazing. So I know she's gonna kill it during this battle that JD was talking about,
which I'm excited for.
When he was here the pre-show. That's gonna be crazy. She's gonna kill it in that battle because of her strong lyrics and what she could do. So
and we said this already, but everyone's coming for her because, like I said, she was on last season. Now she's back. She's the oldest one in the house, and
she's white. That plays a part.
And she's white. And and JD said she's not technically white, but
she really isn't.
Even her sister, her sister said, "Oh, because she's the white girl." So she recognizes her appearance. She's a white person, and so you have all of that against you. Yes, everyone's going to come for you, and I feel like Dionata is the one that's coming the most. So I think that we'll definitely see more of that as the season progresses.
That'll be like the play, the kind of mouse play.
Yeah, I think we'll see that. But like I said, when that battle happens,
watch out.
And then keep in mind, this season is the longest that he's had so far. 13 weeks. We're only at episode 2.
That's right.
And the longer you stay in the house with all these people in this competition, it's only going to build.
Start to build.
Grow, right?
Yo,
I say Nova right now, but next week I'm like, listen, is this what I like to say Nova right now.
All right, so let's get into the hit list real quick. Now I got the dead mic. We just switching it back.
I think all of ours are going in and out.
I think we all.
It's all cool.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? As long as you can hear me. So number 5 on the hit list, we already talked about her a lot, but Dionata, because again, the fact she didn't stay on topic, which I think made sense. I totally agree with that. Wholeheartedly.
I disagree.
You disagree?
She was number 4 on my list.
Who was number 5 on yours?
Flage was.
Flage was number 5 on the list?
What's weird, after 1 and 2 this episode, for me, 3 to 5, it really didn't matter. It could have been any kind of combination.
I can agree. I can agree with you on that, just because she did mess up, and it wasn't like her whole thing was on topic. She still talked about her dad, which technically that's her dad's worth it, not yours. So he made mention of that, and she ended up being number 3. So I can agree with you that I would say she should have been 5. Dionata would have been 4. Rosco, and he says, he's like, I was robbed from being number 4. And I mean, I think it was, his flow was good. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, man, to be, he's 12 years old when this was filmed. He's 13 now. Yeah. And to be able to do what he did at that age, that's crazy.
Dope. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
man.
crazy.
And he came in 4th. He was number 2 on mine, and I just think he was the only one that went in the booth without a notebook.
That's
I think
crazy.
that should have spoke
a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
Much higher than 4.
If they're going lyrics wise, you know, I totally understand what JD was saying or whatnot. But I was expecting him to be a little higher than 4.
Rosco?
Yeah, Rosco, yeah. Right. I was expecting him to be a little bit higher than 4.
But I think at some point, I'm pretty sure during the season, we'll see Rosco on the #1 spot.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
I think Rosco's definitely going to have his shine, especially with his work ethic and everything that he can do. I think he's definitely going to shine.
I mean, you look at the things he's been through, you know, and we highlighted and he kind of elaborated on some of them. I mean, that says something. And to be so young and to be so determined as far as this is what you want to do, this is where you're at in life. You're like, yeah, I'm dedicated to this.
Yeah.
You know, and I think with him, he definitely will reach #1 just for the sheer fact of the dedication. Just for the fact of dedication. And like, we got 13 weeks. Who knows what kind of challenges will be set against that he'll be able to shine on, even though he is one of the youngest. But yeah, I think we'll see more of him.
And I think he has a good support system with his mom behind him.
Sure.
Like the way that his mom is managing him and wanting him just to concentrate on him and not having to worry about anything else.
Absolutely.
I don't think she's not there for the drama. You know
For sure. #2 on the hit list was Tally. It was between Nova and Tally. Do you think Tally deserved the #2 spot?
Tally, look, I've had my opinions about Tally. I mentioned episode 1. But this episode, she came back.
She was dope.
She was good. I have no complaint. I have no, you know, I have nothing bad to say about her. She came back and hit it out the park. I think she did really good. It was only unfortunate that she had Nova to go against this episode where he hit it, a grand slam. Had it been different with him, then maybe she could have got #1 this episode. But I think she came back and did a good job.
She is getting my critique about her rap voice. And remember in episode 1, Brat kind of commented on that. And then the producer was kind of saying about it. So that's something she definitely needs to work on. And I think because she is older, she's kind of gotten to her style.
Yeah.
So I think her biggest challenge is going to be breaking out of that. Because of now you've gotten twice told on.
They like her natural speaking voice.
She needs to like really work on that. So I hope, I mean, if she plans to do well and continue doing well, she has been doing well, continue doing well, she's going to have to break out of that mold. Definitely. And then, of course, as we mentioned before, Nova with the #1 spot. Well deserved.
I agree.
As soon as I saw JD running away, I was like, oh, he's getting #1.
That's my dude.
Hands down.
That's my dude.
Bars was fire.
Bars was fire. His delivery was fire. Everything was good. I definitely think he's going to be the man to beat on this episode. Come
on, Nova. Come down to the studio. Get on Skype. I want to talk to you, dog. I'm your fan.
We're going to have to get him in. We're going to have to get him in. So, that being said, let's get into predictions. Let's do that.
Ooh, predictions.
Let's do it for next week. For next week, prediction. Yeah.
Oh, me harmonize.
Maybe it's good that some of our mics are off.
Sign us up for the pop game.
All right, so Joshua, we'll start with you. What are your predictions going into next week and even into the season?
Glad you went that way.
Oh, man. I wasn't even prepared. Oh, man. You know what? All I can say is, judging by the preview, I'm really looking forward to this next episode because I think this is where we have that explosion with Dionata in the bus. I want to see what that's about. It looks like it's between her and her manager, maybe. So I'm looking forward to seeing what drama unfolds with that. I think as far as my predictions go, outside of that, nothing really has changed for me. Nova is the one to beat. I'm running with Nova.
We're agreeing, JJ?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
and I actually have King Rosco as like, well, Nova, I like Dionata a lot. This episode, she really showed herself, which I didn't like in that way, in that light that she showed herself. So Nova's my #1, and I really like Dionata and King Rosco.
Is Rosco your wild horse?
Rosco's my wild horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
The dark horse.
My wild card, and then Dionata is my dark horse. Rosco's my wild card.
Oh, you got
okay. Got it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you,
Sounds
Jimmy
like a
V?
Katy Perry album.
I'm just I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking forward to this rap battle. I mean, we can skip through all the episodes. Show me the battle. I want the bars. But I agree with JJ here. Nova looks like he's in the lead. I told the fans after our first after show, I am rocking with D, but Nova looks like he's got a split of a lead on everyone. So just gotta wait and see.
Well, y'all, I already voiced mine out. Y'all know I'm with Team Nova right now. I do think it's going to be a flip-flop between Tally and him this season, but it wouldn't surprise me if Dionata in some way kind of just you makes your
Sneaks
way
in there.
As well too. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see more of Lajay and what's going to happen with her and more of her story. Like I said, King Rosco's going to get his shine sometime around this little area too. But I'm definitely a big fan of Nova and see what's going to happen. What's going to happen to him in the next couple of weeks. I didn't see the previews for the next episode, so I'm kind of interested to see what's going on there.
Yeah, that looks.
From what you guys are saying, it sounds intense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at that when I get at home. But yeah.
But no mention of Tally, because I could have sworn you were rocking with Tally.
I was rocking with Tally on the pre-show
until tonight.
You know what I mean? Until tonight. Until tonight. But listen, I did mention Nova on the pre-show too.
No, you did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, the flip-flop back and forth, but just the way Nova delivered tonight was ridiculous. And the more and more I see that kid's personality on a marketing standpoint, on an A&R standpoint, like I'm an A&R. You know what I mean? I feel like they could mold him really, really well. Same as Tally, but I feel like there's something special about the kid. He has the it factor in the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lem?
I'm curious. I'm gonna go a little different. I'm curious as to with the managers. In the last 2 seasons, we've seen the managers a lot of drama between them. Actually, more so than it was the actual contestants.
So true.
Only into 2 episodes, but I haven't really seen much drama between the managers. They seem to be either. I mean, there's been a little bit, but I mean, we saw like out the gate.
Yeah.
Remember, we've seen like out the gate them clashing and them having words and arguments and whatnot.
Yeah.
Especially in first season, I feel like first season was like way up.
JD's like, I'm gonna hold this till like episode 5.
Right.
We gotta get this.
So
even JD talked about how the managers, you have to have like a background check. A lot of the ones who could have been on the show, the managers didn't clear background check.
And so then the artists can't come.
Yeah.
And so that kind of keeps
That's good to know too. It's safe in that house,
inside
yo.
information. So, but yeah, you gotta be safe. You gotta be safe. But yeah, I'm just curious to see if there's any drama that unfolds between the managers. Like I said, right now it seems pretty tame.
Yeah.
It actually ends up being more because I feel like everyone's attacking Tally. And so I think that's really been the big drama so far. I'm just curious to see, and I think with the manager, with Dionata and her cousin, it is. That's her manager. I think these managers, they want their family members, their kids, whoever they are to them, they want them to do well. And I know that a lot of times the pressure can get hard. And I think in looking at the previews, I think that's where that kind of comes from. And so it'll be interesting to see how that goes, how that plays out, and if that's going to affect her going forward.
Right.
But I'm definitely, as far as like, front runner, for sure.
Okay.
For sure, my man.
Okay.
For sure. No.
Right now, I'm gonna put on the A&R hat because you made a great point. And that's why it's important to continue the conversation within the comments, because on our last week's show, someone mentioned that being that we got Monty already there, as well as we got Mulatto, right? 17, 18, right? If JD's thinking about the future, it'd be a smart business choice to go with a King Rosco, just for example, because he is 13 now. He'll be able to shadow everything Monty and Mulatto is doing, gearing up for the 2-3 years after that. So
it's kind of like what he did with Bow Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
right,
how everything worked out with that as well too. I mean, that's a really good comment. You know what I mean? That's a really good way to look at it as well too. But it's also they would also probably have to think, is it too high of a risk?
Right.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? Since it's all going to be business or whatnot, if it's too high of a risk, are they going to do that? Or they could have somebody who's a little bit older who could still get that teenage demo, but then all of a sudden cross within 3 years to an adult demo, which all of a sudden explodes the situation. Kind of like that group. Kind of like the Fifth Harmony group when they start off from X Factor. They started off with a really teeny bopper type of look, and you looked at them at the People's Choice Awards this past week. They weren't kids anymore. You know what I mean?
And that's the natural progression, I think, with youth. And I think, he with this being 13 weeks, I think he definitely will be able to find the person that he wants.
He'll know.
It's a long time, intensive that they're so all there together. And even when he was here, he was saying, what was it? Usher lived with him. For a long time when he was creating Confessions, and like it takes that sometimes. It'll be interesting.
With Rosco though, he has that. His demo is that smart kid kind of rap right now, where he's kind of rapping for the smart kids in school. But how does that cross over when you're 16, 17, 18? I mean, who's your demo after that point? How do they convert?
And it might have to be a
They're still, I don't want to call them nerds, but they're still that hardcore rap fan group there.
I think with him, his image would just change slightly. It'll be like he would be that go-to conscious rapper. You know what I mean? It'll be that situation where now he could play off like, the kid, like I'm a smart kid, I'm in school type of situation. But then when he gets older, I think it'll switch over to a more conscious situation.
Sure, absolutely.
It could be that.
We only can.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
see, huh?
we're gonna have to wait until next week to see.
Good point.
That's been our show
point,
today. Want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those in live chat. Shout out to King Rosco.
Hey,
appreciate you being our guest on our show. Look forward to see what he does. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. You can find me always at the Poet's Ain't. Also check out my website, stayonthemic.com. Nino, where you at?
Hey, once again, guys, you can find me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow my hashtag everywhere on all social medias, Nino's POV, to see what I'm up to, y'all.
It's your boy Jimmy V. Twitter, Instagram at Be Your Own Dad. Make sure you check the blog, BeYourOwnDad.blogspot, which I'll be posting this interview there and my additional comments. Go check for it.
Yeah. A quick shout out to DVD78 and DJ Love in the live chat. We'll see you guys. Thanks for chatting with us. Be sure you guys leave your comments. You can find me on social media, JJ the Talented.
Boom. Until next week, we'll see you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.